It's easy to ignore an orphan before you know their name. It's easy to ignore an orphan before you see their face. It's easy to ignore them before you hold them. But once you hold them, everything changes. Everything.
I died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000.
My name is Kelly Putty, and I am the founder of Ordinary Hero Foundation. I birthed 5 children, and we have adopted a beautiful son from Ethiopia. And, you know, it was through that experience that I have realized is what gives me now the passion to help other children in need. So it is my lifelong mission to find the children that need these ordinary heroes in their lives. Our lives are so busy, and you know, we're on this freeway, this circle of life with appointments and lessons and ball games and so many things that we have to get to that we drive right past the needs. We see them down below, but yet we're so busy we don't take time to actually stop and listen to someone's story and see how we can help. And so Ordinary Hero creates that off-ramp, so to speak. You know, just take a moment, get off of that busy freeway and take the off-ramp and go down to where the needs are. And you will find amazing people down there.
My name is Christy Johnson, and I am an ordinary hero. I am an ordinary mom and a sister and a wife. It was back in December of 2010 when I decided to go on one of the Ordinary Hero trips where Kelly would be photographing waiting children in orphanages in Ethiopia, Africa. I came across a little boy who was by far the smallest, sickliest, at least one of the sickest children in the orphanage. He ended up weighing that day about 7 pounds. I could tell by the way he held his body he was older. I asked how old he was, and they said he was over the age of 1. And as I held him, he put his head on my shoulder, and I just felt at that very moment that if he was waiting and he had no family, it was God telling me that I could do this, that this was your next child, this was your next son. And if it weren't for Ordinary Hero and us being on that trip and being there at that very moment in that remote orphanage, I don't know what would have happened to him. God worked a miracle, and today he's a running, wild 2-year-old little boy who's learning to talk and learning to just be a normal kid.
I'm Shelley McCraw, and I'm the mom of 5, 3 biological kids and 2 adopted domestically.
Started out unlike, or I should say like some others, you know, just to step in and help a mother that we met at the homeless shelter here locally.
And offered to basically just help her with her daughter so she could get back on her feet. And so we kind of started a private foster type situation.
So we kind of stepped in and said, won't you know, kind of let us take care of the kids while you get on your feet. That was the whole premise of us even getting the children in the first place. That decision single-handedly has changed the dynamics of my family forever.
My name is Clay Watson. I am from here in Middle Tennessee and got involved with Ordinary Hero with Kelly Putty. I was a soccer coach and teacher at Ravenwood High School. Ordinary Hero is a phenomenal organization to get involved with. It's a great vehicle to serve here locally and across the world. Was blown away by the things I saw there in Africa the first time, and going back a second time a year later, you see it on an even deeper level. And the world there, they can't see past their immediate needs, but once you meet that immediate need, you can kind of get a more intimate relationship with these people, and you can share just the love of Jesus Christ with them, and that we were sent by Jesus to be there with them and put a smile on their face and just let them know that we're out there in the world thinking about them. That's what Ordinary Hero is all about. It's taking it to the nations and around the neighborhoods to just shine light where there's darkness. Matthew 20:28 says that the Son of Man, the one Son of Man, came not to be served but to serve, and that's our purpose, and that's what Ordinary Hero is here for.
When I got there, I was completely rocked. I've been on several mission trips, and it never impacted me the way that this one did. And it was simply because of the people. The people, they have the most joy of anybody I've ever met. And watching them have absolutely nothing, but yet rejoicing in the little they did have, just completely shattered my heart for those people. And then God just really spoke to my heart, and I just realized that I was supposed to move there and become selfless and dive into serving those people and loving those people. While I was there as well, I met a phenomenal kid. His name is Sammy, and he is 16 years old. I met him on the first mission trip, actually. He was a street kid. In his situation, he has a family, but he has been working since he was 7 years old to provide for that family. And so while I was there, I just began to go to the area that he's from each week and just begin to build a relationship with him and just really get to know him and find out what his life was about and what I could do to help him.
My name is Carol Harris, and I'm just a volunteer for Ordinary Heroes. I've been working with Kelly, helping the mothers at our fall festival outreach. People gave out of their hearts to bless these women. In the following years, we've had anywhere from under 200 to 250 women to bless with these blessing of gift bags for them. I found out that Kelly and Shane Putty were taking a trip to Africa. And again, I felt God saying, this is for you to step out and go. I got to minister to orphans. Children who had love as big as the continent of Africa. If I can do anything to help further this cause, I want to be a part of something greater than myself. This life is very short, and we need to run this race.
My name is Janine Solomon. I'm 19. Growing up, it was rough, moving back and forth from Nashville to Memphis. And staying at the women's mission wasn't no better. It was rough, not knowing when's your next move, or when you're gonna be able to leave, or she still have me to this day try to look for me a job, and just have just so many ways Miss Kelly helps out. It's just can't explain it. She helped my mama get back on her feet. She tried to help her look for a job, look for a place to stay, encourage her to let her know that this is not the end. She did me the same way, and she still helps me to this day. With my child, with everything, if I just need to talk to Miss Kelly, I can call Miss Kelly and talk to her. Just because I know that it's somebody out there that's willing to listen and willing to help.
I have always had adoption in the back of my mind, always. So, needless to say, God knew what he was doing when he put Kelly Putty into my life. My husband and I, we talked about adoption, for years, but we always came up with so many excuses to keep putting it off. One night after scrolling through the Ordinary Hero website, the waiting children's list, I'm scrolling through the children, always praying over them and crying, of course. And I just remember it seemed like God was telling me, stop making excuses, just have faith and trust in me and just go for it. We were always thinking about adopting younger than our youngest, who was 7. But God had a different plan. He was definitely breaking my heart for the older orphans. So be careful when you pray, the prayer that says, Lord, break my heart for what breaks yours, because he will. I go into my older son's bedroom, who was 12 at the time, and I go over to him, and before I even get a prayer out, I go to rub my fingers through his hair, and I lost it. I started bawling because I don't want to cry. I hear, it was like I heard God just saying, what if that was Michael? What if that was Michael that was on that waiting children's list? What if nobody gave him a chance just because of his age, just because he's older? And that's all I needed. That's all I needed to hear. And from that point on, I knew that he was the one we were supposed to adopt. I don't care the age of a child. I don't care what their circumstances or where they come from. Every child deserves a family, and every child deserves love.
My name is Shane Putty, and my wife and I adopted about 4 years ago a little boy named Nathan. I'll never forget just being there at the transition home waiting for Nathan to come, for us to see him for the first time. And the gate opened, and here this little guy comes walking up the driveway, and it was just unlike anything you could ever experience. I tell people all the time that just being there and being able to bring him home from the place that he was living in, it's just one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done. It's great to adopt, it's great to bring your son home, but then when you realize that you can actually make a difference in so many kids' lives, then it really takes on a whole nother level. And just adopting one child, you go and you think, I'm changing the world for one, but when you do change the world for one, there is such a ripple effect that you end up changing so many people's lives, and that's definitely been our experience. So change the world for one.
My name is Nathan, and I am the first one. I am one. I am one. I'm a one. I am one.
I am one. My name is Sami, and I am one.